Good afternoon or good morning, everybody. My name is Paul Olmstead, and I am a retired police officer from the City of Edmonton, province of Alberta. I am originally from Nova Scotia, and I've lived here my whole life until I went away for my career. I had a career with Edmonton Police for 29 years, and then I retired and came back to Nova Scotia. During my time with the Edmonton Police Service, I worked in a variety of areas, and they would have included working in the General Patrol Unit. I worked with police horses. I worked with police dogs. I worked in the helicopter unit. I spent some time in the airplane for flying over crime scenes and different things like that. Worked in crime prevention. There are a lot of things that I did during my career. I'm going to tell you a few of the benefits and the bonuses of being a police officer in Canada. Number one, it's a really important to understand and to note that police officers in Canada have a variety of jobs available to them once they join a police service. The larger police service that you join, the more opportunities are there for you. Such as a police officer working in a large city, you have the ability to do things such as maybe become a dog handler. You could work in a SWAT or a tactical unit. You could work in a CSI unit. You could, in some places, go into very specialized units and work in uh, areas to deal with just things like DNA, very specific investigations dealing with, let's say, with arson, drug enforcement, drug detection, undercover surveillance. One of the things about policing in Canada is the fact that you join and you work for an organization. But in fact, what you're doing is you're working for a parent organization. And in fact, you've got like 50 or 60 different jobs available to you during your career. And you can apply for these jobs, you can train specifically for them. There are a lot of different ways. You can operate. I drove jet skis, I drove jet boats as part of my patrol. I used skidoos. I was all over the place, and it was a lot of fun. One of the things I want you to think about and understand about being working in law enforcement. Law enforcement is what we call a career that involves a lifestyle, meaning that we don't call being a police officer a job. We call it a lifestyle. And what that basically means is when you become a police officer, the expectations are that you are going to be a good person. You are going to be a good citizen. You're not going to do behavior off duty that you would not normally do while you're on duty. It's a lifestyle. It means that you're going to pay attention to physical fitness. You're going to try to be fit and in shape. Your health is going to be a little bit better than the average person because when you go to work, your fitness ability is what a lot of people depend on. You have an obligation to be healthy. You can see behind me here, there are a number of pictures and photographs from various people. My job right now is I am a trainer. I work at a small private college where we have a course called Corrections and Law Enforcement, where we train people to go and understand the world of policing and corrections. Our students will come to us for a period of 12 months, and during that 12 months, we are going to expose them to many of the services of the police and the corrections departments. We're going to bring in guest speakers, and they're going to show up one day, and there's going to be a bomb squad with a robot outside the building, and they're going to go and ask questions. They're going to try on the bomb suit. Another day, there's going to be a police officer here with his service dog, and the service dog will we're going to plant some drugs or some bombs, fake of course, inside the building, and the dog is going to have to search for them. So these people behind me that are in these pictures represent students, but as you can see, they're all in uniforms. They're working with the Canadian military as police officers, they're working with the RCMP, they're with various federal and provincial policing organizations right across Canada. And the benefits to this is because it's a lifestyle, it's a job that you enter, and for the most part, we think that you're going to probably stay with this job for pretty well your whole life until you're ready to retire. On average in Canada, being a police officer in most Canadian cities and some of the larger organizations, you're probably going to be making anywhere from $80,000 to $100,000 a year. You are going to have benefits. that are going to include free gyms, free gym memberships. You're going to have benefits that are going to pay for your medical and your health and your dental. There are a lot of things that are included when you work for large organizations. You're also going to have a pension. And I know at your age, thinking about a pension or retiring is not really something that is first and foremost on your mind. But what will happen, a little ways into your career, you will be thinking about retiring. And quite frankly, if you start young enough, and you can be a police officer as early as the age of 20 in this country, you can retire before you're 50. And that means that you're going to have a guaranteed income for life after you retire, and you can go and get another job. Which also brings me to the skills. The skills that you can learn as a police officer, you can very, very, very easily take with you when you leave the policing career. You can become a professional in so many things. You can become an expert. You can become a designer, an engineer, a professional fraud investigator. You can do all kinds of things. The department pays you and encourages you to move up in terms of education and skills so that you can practice these education and skills and skill sets that you have while you're a police officer for the benefit of your job. And now you've got all this training that you can take with you. So it's very, very easy to have many small, short careers within a policing career. And it's also very easy after you retire to take your skills with you and create a second career that can last you much longer. Myself, I started becoming a trainer and teaching many different things of policing while I was a constable. And as I progressed throughout my career, I became, I'm going to say, an expert or a well-educated person on certain areas. And those certain areas took me across Canada. It took me to the far Canadian north. And everything I did was going to help and assist other people. And then, after I did retire, I became a full-time trainer, and I was traveling across Canada training. I was hiring and consulting with government projects. I'm now this part-time instructor here at the school, which as I get older in my life, I don't necessarily want to work 4 or 5 days a month. So now I can pick and choose and work 2 days a week if I want. And that's exactly what I'm doing here at this school. So there are a lot of benefits with a career in law enforcement. You think about the fact that you're going to be dealing with bad people, that you're going to be handling guns and shootouts and all that kind of thing. Well, I'm not going to tell you there are not some negative issues and situations that you're going to be dealing with. But the risks are a lot lower than what you would think because of the fact that you've got training, because of the fact that you've got good equipment, and because of the fact that there are other people with you that do the same job. So you don't have to worry. So much about what you see on TV is not really the way it is. TV is what we see on TV. It's entertainment, even though it's pretty negative stuff for entertainment. So if you're interested in a career in law enforcement, the rules are very, very simple. You cannot have a criminal record. You cannot be in trouble with the law prior to applying for a position with a police officer. You should be doing some volunteer work. You should be a good, respectful person. And quite frankly, you do not have to be an honor student to become a police officer. You are going to be judged and looked at more on the grounds of what kind of person you are, what kind of shape you're in, how respectful you are, your ability to do volunteer work, to help people. Those are the main attributes that what Canadian law enforcement is looking for in order for you to become a police officer. We will teach you the necessary skills. We will give you the necessary education once you join and get accepted into the ranks, and then you'll go into recruit training. Also, in many opportunities, there are areas around Canada where you can go into a college and take a law enforcement training course. It does not make you a police officer, but what it does do is it gives you information to help you make your decision about what type of training and where you might want to work within law enforcement. If I have a class of 30 people, not all those 30 people are necessarily going to become police officers. They might go to corrections, they might go to the military, they might go to private security. Taking police and law enforcement training at a private institution, a school, university, whoever offers it, also opens up a lot of doors for you. In my opinion, this is the kind of job that it's going to give you security, satisfaction. It's going to be the excuse you need to stay in fantastic physical shape. And basically, you're going to be a person who's going to be looked at as a helper, helping other people. We've all heard a lot of terrible things on the news off and on over the years, and we wonder what it takes to be there. Being a police officer, it gives you a great amount of satisfaction. I strongly recommend it as a career. It doesn't matter what language you speak. It doesn't matter what country you're from. It doesn't matter if you're male, female, anything. There's no discrimination with the people that we are looking for in Canada to become police officers. If you have an interest in this, you can pursue it. You can look on Google, on the websites, to how to become a police officer. You can check out the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, RCMP. You can look at the videos of their training, and as well as many other organizations. So I'm going to ask you, consider it. If it's something that you think you would like to do, can it be fun and exciting? Do you get to drive other people's cars real fast? Yeah, you do, but like everything else, there's rules and regulations. Thank you for your time. I hope I said something that might make you a little bit more interested in a law enforcement career. And there's always a need. This is one of the industries, if you will, it will always be looking for people. Thank you for your time and good luck